Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. The proposed AFL Stadium at Macquarie Point is now all but a certainty. In a stunning backflip, Tasmanian Labor has now agreed to support the controversial project in the name of jobs.
It's a policy backflip no one saw coming. The proposed Macquarie Point AFL Stadium overcoming a major political hurdle.
Tasmanian Labor is going to support a stadium.
The party's new leader saying they back the potential boost to the state's construction workforce.
Whether you're a construction worker, an aquaculture worker, a miner, we support jobs in Tasmania, and that's why we're supporting this project.
The change of position is supported by those in the building industry.
From our perspective, great opportunity to build jobs within the construction area.
The pipeline of work in Tasmania is stalled, so we need to see more major projects released, so this is great.
However, not all are impressed with today's change of heart.
This is the most cynical and deeply dishonest walking back that I've ever seen.
The stadium proposal is currently being assessed by Tasmania's Planning Commission. With Liberal and Labor members holding a majority in the lower house, it seems a Mac Point stadium could be unstoppable. But the Greens are yet to accept defeat.
And we will keep fighting. This is not finished yet. There are many years to go.
Premier Jeremy Rockliff has welcomed Labor's dropping of its opposition to the stadium, saying it's great to see Labor is finally on board on Mac Point and that he's looking forward to working together to get this done. The full go-ahead now just awaiting a vote in Parliament. Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmania News.
Upper House support is crucial for the stadium project as counting resumed today for polling in 3 electorates. Liberal candidate Kerry Vincent ahead with 38% of votes in Prosser.
You get to a point where things just have to take their course, and I'm at that point now, and I'm just very honoured to have such a strong level of support.
The race remains tight in Elwick. Independent Beck Thomas currently in the lead, with Labor's Tessa McLaughlin not far behind.
If Beck's successful, then we'd work with her as the same we would any other independent.
Cassie O'Connor continues to lead for the seat of Hobart, with Councillor John Kelly following closely. Health and emergency service unions are sounding the alarm on staff shortages, saying a lack of paramedics and firefighters is putting Tasmanians at risk. Ambulance crews in the south were left scrambling on Saturday, with more than half the roster going unfilled, while a crucial northwest firefighting crew is being put on ice.
They're the professionals we depend on in some of our toughest moments, but Tasmania's fireys and paramedics say they're being let down. Devonport's second fire crew is being shelved over staffing issues.
Members are very disappointed. They certainly see the need and understand it's their safety and the community safety that's at risk.
Set up as a trial last year, the second permanent day crew was at Liberal election promise.
Significantly improves the response times to incidents.
But the Firefighters Union says it won't be operating for the next month at least.
We'll continue to work with our teams as we move to transition to lock in that day crew in the future.
Meanwhile, the state's largest health union isn't mincing its words over paramedic staffing.
We had a horrific weekend here in the south of Tasmania, where we saw at times only 40% of crews available.
Compounding the pain, the return of ramping, with less than 2/3 of ambulances at the Royal Hobart Hospital offloading within the 1-hour benchmark.
The government needs to take responsibility for this. They went to this election promising change, promising an end to ramping. That's not occurring.
The Premier defending his government's record.
We're working very hard day in, day out to ensure that these positions are filled. We have recruited more paramedics and dispatch officers, along with more nurses and doctors in our hospital system.
Annie Green, 7 Tasmania News.
An artwork depicting a traumatic road crash has been unveiled in a bid to encourage drivers to bring the death toll down to 0. It's part of National Road Safety Week, with leaders pulling out all the stops to get the message across.
This confronting installation couldn't look more out of place, and that's the point.
We're hoping to get that cut through to actually have a real conversation about this epidemic of road trauma.
It's one element of the RACT's More Than a Statistic campaign as part of National Road Safety Week. Tasmania far from immune to the devastating impacts caused by car crashes last year alone.
More than 35 died on our roads and more than 300 were subject to serious injury.
60,000 road users signing a pledge this week, promising to drive so others survive.
We've got to ensure that that effort is in fact imprinted on the minds of our fellow Tasmanians 365 days of the year.
We've lost 8 lives on the road so far this year. Why did I say so far? Because we're going to lose more people if we don't change our driving behaviour.
Those lives lost far from the only ones affected. For Peter Fraser, whose daughter Sarah died on the Hume Highway, it's an unhealable wound.
To have my beautiful daughter killed in a completely avoidable road crash is something that my family and myself suffer from every day, literally every day.
A number of statewide campaigns will complement this installation during Road Safety Week, all highlighting the impacts of driving dangerously. Hobart City Council's taken a different approach, instead targeting pedestrians.
We have lots of people moving around on their mobile phones, and sometimes they miss things like scooters, wheelchairs, bikes.
Also signing a memorandum of understanding to become a yellow ribbon council. A sweet yet sombre reminder of the lasting impacts. Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmanian News.
The Launceston General Hospital's new helipad has been delayed. It's due to instability with global shipping routes in the Red Sea. Health Minister Guy Barnett says the works will now have to be pushed out and won't be completed until September. The lift will be installed as soon as it arrives in the state. A Tasmanian police vessel that's notched up 30 years of service has set off on her final voyage from Hobart. The Van Diemen has helped pursue illegal vessels and save lives at sea, and despite being decommissioned, her career is far from over.
Departing the dock for the final time, police vessel Van Diemen bids farewell to Tasmania after 3 decades of service.
Look, after 30 years today, we say goodbye to PV Van Diemen, a vessel that has provided exemplary service for Tasmania Police, but in particular the community of Tasmania.
Built in Western Australia, Van Diemen has been vital to the force, assisting with the detection and apprehension of illegal fishers and responding to emergencies at sea.
The vessel's been involved in rescues, and in particular ones around for the Sydney to Hobart and also ones in the southwest. So it has really been put through its paces over that time.
Logging over 120,000 nautical miles, the equivalent of circumnavigating Tasmania 150 times.
It's amazing to see the vessel today in what is in great condition after 30 years really hard service.
But she's not ready for retirement just yet. Van Diemen will spend the rest of her days with the AFP in Papua New Guinea.
It's a wonderful partnership between Tasmania Police and the Australian Federal Police so that we can make a meaningful contribution to helping our friends in the Pacific.
Van Diemen is the third and final vessel to be decommissioned under the state government's large vessel replacement program. Her $13.4 million successor will launch a new era for water patrols.
It'll be bigger, it'll be more stable, it'll be faster, and certainly have state-of-the-art equipment when it comes to search and rescue and also detecting illegal fishing.
Van Diemen 2.0 is due to arrive in Tasmania waters in October. Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmania News.
UTAS students have joined a global movement pitching tents outside the Sandy Bay campus library. They're calling for the university to stand in solidarity with the Palestinian people and call for a ceasefire. The university says it will protect freedom of speech for students, adding the stand doesn't interfere with learning and teaching. A historic Tasmanian pub is on the market as its owners head towards retirement. The quirky watering hole has a steady flow of loyal locals, while also amassing an international following for its connection to the Tasmanian tiger.
16 years ago, Doug Westbrook left his job in real estate, taking over the Mole Creek Hotel with wife Ramona.
A good little town, had a lot of potential. I was a great believer in the potential of Tasmanian tourism.
Built as a pub in 1908, it wouldn't fulfil its purpose until the 30s due to a clause from the original owner of the land banning the sale of alcohol on the property.
The Firmage, who was a lawyer and that, he owned the mortgage of the hotel and he challenged the clause and won, so it had become a hotel.
But now it's thriving with loyal locals and a constant flow of tourists stopping in. The annual Day at the Creek Festival attracting up to 3,000 people into the back paddock. And how many pubs have a family of platypus living out back?
It's just good country food and that's the attraction here. And especially the outside, we've got a beautiful tree.
There's more than just good food and great hospitality bringing people through the doors here. It's tales of the Tasmanian Tiger attracting people from far and wide.
We've had numerous documentary crowds from all around the world. Just recently, CBS 60 Minutes were here.
Just don't believe Ramona when she says her famous Tassie Tiger pies contain real thylacine, which plenty of people swear to Doug aren't extinct.
It's still out there. They're still alive, elusive and free.
Yeah, so you still hear stories from people who have seen it?
Yeah, especially bushmen and truck drivers at night and farmers.
You can continue the story of this quirky pub. The price tag is $850,000. Nick Kelly, 7 Tasmanian News.
Variety is hoping Pedal Power will spin up much needed donations for Tasmanian children in need. The charity is opening registrations for its third Spin for Kids, the annual event challenging businesses, sports clubs and groups of friends to spend 5 hours on a spin bike.
It is a win-win. It's a place where you can bring a team together, have a great day in camaraderie, but also helping Variety achieve its mission of supporting Tasmanian children through fundraising.
Organisers are hoping to raise $20,000 from the event. Variety programs reach more than 7,000 children across the state.
Undefeated in the TSL after round 6 and sitting 2 wins clear at the top of the table, North Launceston aren't letting the tag of premiership favourites get to their heads.
It's nice to get that label, but at the end of the day, we've just got to come out and play our best footy. We're going to be hunted and we've just got to take that with a grain of salt. We've just got to take that as a compliment.
They have a week off after putting the Tigers in their place. Round 8 is a rematch with Launceston after that round 1 humiliation. And Fletcher Bennett is this week's 3-point taker in the Cripps Player of the Year from the Bombers' win over Canberra. Clarence's Bryce Alomes gets tops points against Glenorchy. And Launceston's Bailey Gillow takes the 3 from their confidence-boosting second win of the season. The Canberra Lions are feeling positive about their chances in the Women's Super League despite a 2-1 loss to undefeated powerhouse Devonport Strikers.
We're more competitive every game and we're playing good football. We obviously got United next week for 2 weeks in a row with the Cup as well. So we want to make sure we're continuously being competitive and then we'll see where we end up.
In the NPL, South Hobart continue their unbeaten run with a 5-1 win over Riverside Olympic. Not enough to take Glenorchy's top of the table position. They're still holding on by goal differential. Northwest motorcyclist Jed Beaton has dropped to second on the MX1 Championship standings, sitting 1 point behind Kyle Webster in round 3 in Gilman, South Australia. Beaton sitting hot on Webster's tail the whole race, unable to get past, finishing just .775 of a second behind.
Try and get that position back, but Kyle was riding well today. This is one of his strongest tracks.
Beaton still sits 24 points ahead of third on the leaderboard with 5 rounds to go. Hobart sprinter Jacob Despard is likely off to Paris. His Aussie relay team qualifying for the Olympics in a 4x100 metre at the World Athletics Relays in Bahamas. The second place result behind South Africa this morning, enough to lock the Aussies in after missing direct qualification yesterday by 4 thousandths of a second. Despard's ticket isn't guaranteed though. The Olympic relay team is yet to be named.
Good evening. Hope you had a great weekend. Hobart, Launceston and Devonport all 17 today and fine. Burnie 16 degrees, while Flinders Island and Bushy Park reached our top of 18. Temperatures slightly above average as we continue to sit under a high pressure system. King Island, Low Head, Grove and Friendly Beaches all 17. St Helens 16, Strawn 15, Lyawini 10 degrees. The southwest and southeast found cloud today. More cloud drifted over the far northwest and northeast of the state. More low cloud lies over coastal parts of Victoria, New South Wales and Queensland. Thunderstorms within the cloud cover over southern WA. A couple of high pressure cells east and west of us tomorrow as a weak cold front also pokes into the picture to the southwest. Winds west to southwesterly but only at 5 to 15 knots and variable over the inland lakes. An expected cold night has prompted a frost warning for the central north, Midlands and upper Derwent Valley. So a cool night tonight. Hobart expecting 17 after 5 this evening. Cloudy for Adventure Bay, 16 the top, -1 for Tarraleah, a partly cloudy 14 later. Launceston 19, 17 for Devonport and partly cloudy, bit of sun over Bridport, 18 the maximum. Burnie 17 degrees and a possible shower, 15 for Strawn, a shower or two for Marrawar and 16 degrees. St Helens 18 and mostly sunny. Partly cloudy for Swansea, 17 and 18 degrees for Whitemark on Flinders. Possible morning fog inland on Wednesday with a shower over the east and southeast along with Curry and Whitemark. A similar pattern into Thursday with light winds, and on Friday most of the sunshine over the west coast as temperatures now settle below 20. A sunny 25 in Perth, fine as well for Adelaide, cloudy and 17 in Melbourne and Canberra. Sydney, a few showers there and also wet weather for Brisbane. Fine conditions here still, 13 in Hobart, 9 right now in Launceston, Devonport currently 11 degrees. Just chatting about our badges here tonight, Kim, the yellow ones we have. Of course, National Road Safety Awareness Week, and I think you know what the red and white one signifies.
We had to bring it up on Monday. Thank you, Murphy. Yes, the Swans. That is all your news for now. I'll be back later with updates. Thanks for joining us tonight. Good night.